Okay, now we are going to see the analysis of relative clauses in syntax, okay? The first sentence that I have here is the painting that the tycoon bought is a Picasso. I didn't write the analysis. I'm just going to explain it orally because what I expect you to do is to write that on your folders and make the analysis, write the analysis following the analysis that I make here so that it is better for you because you will understand it better in that way. And if there is something that you don't understand, you will be able to detect it and tell me in class. So the subject is the painting that the tycoon bought. This is a subject and it is a noun phrase. So the head is a noun. The noun is painting. The head is painting. That is a common noun. It's not a proper noun. It's a common noun. The is a determiner definite article. And that the tycoon bought is a post modifier defining relative clause. I wrote POM in order to show how we write post modifier. And it is a defining relative clause. So when we say that it is a defining relative clause, we're talking about the category, not the function, of course. The function is post modifier. And so, what is the analysis inside this clause? Because clauses have a subject and a predicate. So let's detect what is the subject and what is the predicate. In order to see this, the best thing is to find first the verb. What is the verb? Bought. Who bought something? The tycoon. So the tycoon is the subject. The tycoon is the subject. It's a noun phrase. Tycoon is the head noun. The is a determiner definite article. Bought is a transitive verb in the it's a monotransitive verb in the past tense. And what did he buy? He bought a painting that is replaced here by the word that. So that is the direct object and the category is defining relative pronoun. It is a pronoun because it is replacing the word painting. It is replacing a noun and it is fulfilling the role of a direct object. And direct objects are always nouns or noun equivalents. The rest is a predicate. We have a copulative verb and a subjective complement. Let's go to the next sentence. I know the house where Bill found the treasure. So, I is the subject, personal pronoun in the subjective case or nominative case. The rest is the predicate. Know is a monotransitive verb. The rest is the direct object, noun phrase. The head of this noun phrase is house. The is a pre-modifier definite article. And where Bill found the treasure is a post-modifier defining relative clause. And so, how do we analyze this clause inside? Bill is the subject. Found the treasure and where is the predicate. And here I would need more rows. Okay. So found is the monotransitive verb. The treasure is the direct object noun phrase. And where is an adverbial adjunct of place defining relative adverb because it is replacing a place. So this is the analysis of this sentence. Let's go to the next one. The moment when Joanne came in will be unforgettable. So the subject is shown here, the moment when Joanne came in. It is a noun phrase. Moment is the head noun. We know what the is. And when Joanne came in is the post modifier defining relative clause. What is the subject? Joanne. What is the predicate? When came in. How do we analyze the predicate inside? Came in is a, I should merge it here, and came in is an intransitive phrasal verb, and when is an adverbial adjunct of time defining relative adverb, because it is replacing, it is fulfilling the role of an adverb. Let's go to this one. The man for whom I work lives in Peru. Here there are two similar sentences. The thing is that the second one is the one that we would say normally, because we would never say, I mean, people would laugh at us if we say the man for whom I work, because it is for or too formal or too, or not used anymore, old-fashioned. So what we would say is the man I work for lives in Peru. But let's look at the analysis of both. We have the subject here and the predicate. The subject is a noun phrase. Man is the head noun. It is a common noun. The is a pre-modifier, definite article. And for whom I work is a post-modifier defining relative clause. And lives in Peru is the predicate. Lives in is an intransitive verb, and in Peru is an adverbial complement prepositional phrase where in is the head preposition and Peru is the prepositional complement, and it is a proper noun. So let's look at the analysis of this. What is the verb? Because in order to see what the subject is, we need to see what the verb is. So the verb is work, right? It is an intransitive verb. So I need another row here. Okay, I is the subject then, because I work. Who works? I work. So I is the subject, personal pronoun in the subjective case. I work for whom, right? So this I work for whom is an adverbial adjunct. It's hard to say what kind of adverbial adjunct this is. Perhaps the analysis could be I work for as a prepositional verb and whom may be the direct object. This is another possible analysis. And this is the analysis that we have here in the second sentence. So for whom is an adverbial adjunct? We can say of what is it, of interest could be. And it is a prepositional phrase. For is the head preposition and whom is the prepositional complement defining relative pronoun, because prepositional complements are always nouns. And now, if we go to the analysis of this sentence, we have the subject, noun phrase, the predicate, verb phrase. Again, the man is the head, I work for is the post modifier defining relative clause, and I is the subject, and there is a that here that is omitted because we can omit the relativizer, right? So I is the subject, work for is the, we can say that it is a prepositional verb, yes? And that would be the direct object is omitted. It is elided, yes? So we can say that there is elision of the direct object, which is a defining relative pronoun. I know that you will have questions about this, but it's a rather complicated kind of analysis, but bear in mind this. I'll say it again. We've got I, that, there is ellipsis of that. If we had that here, I will insert the column. So if we had that here, what the analysis that we would have would be subject and this is the predicate. So work for is the prepositional verb, and that is the direct object defining relative pronoun, because it is replacing man. Yeah? Rather complicated, I know. Okay, now let's look at these very long sentences with a lot of embedded clauses inside. Let's see. Caballito, which is the place where I was born, is not a place that I really like. Okay, let's see. First of all, we have to say that for the first time we have a non-defining relative clause in the analysis, and there is something to say about defining relative clauses. Grammarians haven't come to an agreement as to what the role of, I said defining, it's non-defining, the role of non-defining relative clauses have in the sentence. So we're going to just write non-defining relative clauses. Sometimes they were called apposition, which could be, but then they realized that appositions are another thing. So we're not going to call them anything. We're going to just write defining relative clause, and that's it. Then they gave it the semantic value. There were many ways of analyzing this, but we are going to write that this is a non-defining relative clause, and that's it. Okay, we are going to just write the category, not the function. So caballito is the head proper noun, and so here this is important. The antecedent of non-defining relative clauses, as I explained before, is always defined, while the antecedent for defining relative clauses is undefined. That is why defining relative clauses define it, right? I mean, I'm repeating the word define. Or we can also say that defining relative clauses restrict its meaning. So I've got only 3 minutes left, and I want to finish this. So, which is the place where I was born? So, this is a non-defining relative clause, and I won't have time to finish the analysis here. But, well, this is the subject, and which is the subject, defining relative, non-defining relative pronoun, and all the rest is the predicate. Is a copulative verb. The place where I was born is subjective complement, noun phrase. Place is the head noun. The determiner definite article. Where I was born is the post modifier defining relative clause. I is the subject, was born, and where is the predicate. Was born is a verb phrase, intransitive verb, and where is an adverbial adjunct of place, non-defining relative pronoun. And the predicate, we have a verb, copulative verb, adverbial adjunct of negation, adverb, that is not, and then a place that I really like is a subjective complement, noun phrase. Place is the head noun, you know what A is, and that I really like is a post modifier defining relative clause. I is the subject, that really like is the predicate, really is an adverbial adjunct of degree, adverb, like is a transitive verb, and that is the direct object of this transitive verb that has been moved to this position, and it is a defining relative pronoun.